recording now?
We are.
All right.
Hang on.
Guys, can you hear me? 'Cause I can hear you. Can you hear me?
No.
All right. Hi, everybody. This is Matt, and this is the KMDcast.
That's right.
Episode, another one.
That's right.
And coming to you live from the past when you're listening to this. I'm one of your hosts. And then also I have with me Chris Kreitzman. Kreitzman!
Hello!
Yo! Wayne!
AKA the kid, what's up, world? What's going down?
Wayne again, consistently talking to the internet. I appreciate it.
That's
Wayne.
right. It's important. Someone has to.
So before we get down into like the stuff that we're going to talk about, last time we talked about coming up with a catchy name for calling an MP/style choice and like latching onto it. Wayne, did you come up for what do you want to call that?
Again, so we all know that guy who plays like a fringe personality and they do decent with it, you know, and that's fine. But the thing that separates them is that when they see someone else playing it, they kind of get pissed off about it. And we're going to dub that as being clingy.
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 All right. Has there ever been a deck like that for you, Kreitzman, that you've been clingy with?
Yeah, probably Resolute Tau. Probably my guess. I see people talking shit about Tau all the time, and I'm just immediately triggered. I'm like, you talking about my man? Like,
That's so true.
yeah. You've been there. You've seen me do it.
Whenever I call him like a lesser tiered personality, you always jump right up my ass. You're like, what?
Someone said it in the Octagon group, and I went off. I was like, what the fuck?
Take it back.
He's a real man.
That's right.
What about Wayne? You have any deck that you've ever been clingy to?
Now, I have a special place in my heart for TN, but my situation, I think, is a little different. It's okay if someone else decides to play TN in whatever flavor or whatever they want to play him in. But, like, when they start acting like they're the pioneer and they started the TN wave, that's when, you know, my juices start to flow a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The only thing that's ever happened... Go ahead.
If that happened to you, like, if someone said, like, they pioneered Black Cooler, I'm sure you'd be like, wait, motherfucker, wait, hold on.
Yeah, no, Black Cooler was that for me. Just Master Roshi being good. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say.
That's the thing that triggers me, because I remember when Set 5 was released, and I said that, like, I guess they were going over, like, ranking the MPs from that set when they were doing previews, and they were like, Cell number 1, Yamcha number 2, and then they had fucking, like, Master Roshi at the bottom with, like, Android 16, and I was just like, what? Like, have you guys played any games with this personality? And then, like, explaining to people that he was a synergy-based MP, like, they just didn't understand it, so I still get triggered when people talk about Roshi and how they pioneered any Roshi deck that's ever existed.
So out of the MPs, where do you put him?
I put him as 1A and 1B with Cell. I mean, because when I played in Set 5 format with Cell before the nerf, the only deck that I could consistently beat Cell with was Black Roshi.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I mean, my build was definitely more mid-rangey. Like, I didn't run all 7 Dragon Balls, but I also could float on levels 1 to 2, 2, 3. So if I played the matchup against Cell, I would never really stress about getting locked down on 1.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, I would just start to leverage like heroic assistance to now put like 3 cards back into my deck every time, just to kind of stabilize and make the game go longer.
Okay. But you 100% put him before Yamcha?
Yeah, 100%.
All right. That's fair, I guess.
Well, Yamcha's got that weird thing where if you get trapped on 1 against the wrong deck, you're not going to have a good time. Where with Roshi, it's a lot harder to get stuck there, I think.
Yeah. That's true.
I think that Yamcha has his merits. It's just that Roshi's name cards are just significantly
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, especially his new one, right? His new one's like surprisingly insane.
Kamehameha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even if you don't count the new stuff. If you just count what was out at the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like, Yamcha's assist is cool and shit, but like Roshi's Slumber is just something. It's like super VTP. You know
Yeah. You're looking at a sixth of your deck and then finding 3 cards of your choice. And then the thing that was like low key underrated was the passive banishing 3 cards from your opponent's discard pile.
Yeah.
Like, that was, like, no one really paid attention to that. And then, of course, Roshie's Backstrike. Like, not only is it a tutor for any card in your deck, but it's also hit, you go to full. Which a lot of people, again, like, that's, like, a low-key underrated part of that card.
Well, also it triggers both your level 1 and level 2, right?
Yeah.
Like, because you're shuffling, so...
Much synergy, such wow.
Mm-hmm.
Blown away.
All right, so the story, kids, is that you need to have a more open relationship with your favorite MP.
That's right.
Don't be clingy, because clingy is being weird. Next thing you know, you're stalking and raging on people on Retro, and that's never good.
So you're just going to be one of those guys on Retro, and no one wants to be that guy.
Yeah. No, like, think of people, like, during OP season last year, like DDA. DDA was probably, like, the best Trunks player, but the problem was he played Trunks the entire season. Like, so he didn't perform too well. Like, imagine if he would have played more of, like, if he was more open or open-minded with his relationship with Trunks and wanted to try something different. Maybe he could have spiced it up. Got some better finishes.
DDA didn't really compete in a lot of events, though, and I think what he did compete in, he didn't do bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I got to say, coming from me as the guy who, like, mono writes about rogue decks, I'm not really going to, like, say it's anything bad that he sat on Trunks. Like, it took a while for Trunks to actually get insane. Like, Awakening is really where he, like, stood up and said, hey, remember me? I'm good as shit now. But I'm not going to hark on the guy for playing an MP that he likes.
No, I get that, but I'm saying like, have a more open relationship.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, for sure, like you said, like...
he was clingy.
You don't think he was clingy?
No. He was stuck on Trunks, but, like, he was trying to get more people to play him and, you know, trying to tell everybody the different, like, little intricacies
like
he had and
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
But he wasn't like, yo, fuck you, you're playing Trunks.
That's true. He actually was trying to get people to play it. So.
No, oh man, I know the best example of clingy players in this game.
Yeah.
Any player that was playing Saiyan before Broly came out. because the moment Broly came out and Saiyan was good, every Saiyan player that played it beforehand was like, "You're only playing it because of Broly." Like,
yeah, all the hipster Saiyans came out.
You're not a real Saiyan player. Like,
yeah,
they would get so mad.
I don't know, man. I mean, you were there. We saw. I tried to play Saiyan in like set 3, and man, it was not good. Like, it was almost there. Like,
the best Saiyan deck, like, in like set 3 was I don't know if you remember that random ass Saiyan Menace, Saiyan Godku control deck that Joshua Thomas had.
Oh, but, yeah, I do.
But like, he played like allies, like a huge board of like setups and stuff.
I was saying,
like,
he played like basically no attacks, right?
Yeah, it was like just a handful of attacks, and he would just grind people into dust with like the passive reju and then the random menaces. Like, that was like the best Saiyan deck that I saw then, besides like, you know, Saiyan Turtles, which that deck wasn't even.
I don't know, man. I used to like the Vegeta decks back in the day.
Dude, set 1 Vegeta was gross, but then Wallbreaker was printed in set 2.
Yeah. I mean, I played Phil and Vegeta in Saiyan and Red set 3, and Red was way better than the Saiyan version, I think.
Yeah.
Like, at least I had better results with the Red version, with the Enraged version, but maybe it was just like a corner case or something.
Fun fact about that, when set 2 was being made, Wallbreaker was only being tested at the time as an answer for Namekian, and they inadvertently affected Saiyan Vegeta, which they wanted to be one of the top decks. Right. They weren't thinking that too much, aside from trying to make sure that Namekian was kept in check. And then sadly broke all of our hearts by taking Saiyan Vegeta
everything.
off.
Well, it took off like Vegeta, took Tien off like the second he got friended.
Enraged Tien, that deck is dead. Trash. Yeah. I mean, shoulder grab existed though, so.
Yeah.
But at that time you only had 1 answer for Wallbreaker. No, 2 answers because of Static Shot.
It was hard times.
I believe it.
Hard times. Hard times for the American dream, dusty roads.
That's right.
Let me tell you something, Daddy. Let's talk about the CRD and Legacy bonus rulings while we're here, Daddy. Let's talk about this. This is important news, Daddy.
It is a little older news, unfortunately.
It's older, but so let's talk about Orange Checkup Drill, Daddy. Let's talk that card. That card had it. Like there was no getting rid of it. It just had it. You couldn't get rid of it if you wanted to. You couldn't sell it if you wanted to. Orange Checkup Drill had it. Sorry.
I'm really impressed by how hard you leaned into that.
Dude, I had to.
Not to cut you off.
It's alright. So Orange Checkup Drill is officially limit 1 per deck. So aside from it being the first drill to ever retain memory in this game, they went ahead and gave it the limit 1 per deck.
I don't
how
think
do you
anyone's
guys?
going to cry about that.
How do you guys feel about Orange Checkup Drill being limit 1 per deck?
It's fine, and I believe it's fine. It's still not going to feel like it's 1 per deck to me because Orange has so many different ways of just going to find a drill, regardless of what zone it's in. So, I mean, there will be several games where you'll have it out, it'll go away, and then they'll get it back. So, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, not to mention, like, being able to loop it with, like, dismissal and other card effects. So, like, when you want it to trigger, you'll get it to trigger.
Yeah. I agree with that.
So, yeah, I think it's fine. It definitely takes a lot of the pressure off of the person playing against the orange deck, but once Checkup Drill like hits, they're gonna remember this stupid drill. Like it'll be priority number 1, and then once it's gone, they'll be like, all right, now I never have to worry about that again.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna change how people play with Checkup Drill. Like now, when they level with the mastery, it's gonna be if it's already in play, they can go get it. Or they'll start to decide more so now to put it in the discard pile instead, just because they want to be able to have quicker access to it. But then, of course, what's great now is discard pile removal, which has always been relevant, is even better now, because if one of those just ends up in the discard pile, you can just get rid of it for almost forever, unless they play like Orange Left Burst or Orange Enraged Bash. So that's minor change. Orange Bicycle Kick and Orange Meditation being banished after use. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm personally a little sad about Bicycle Kick. I was playing the crap out of that card. It definitely needed to be banished after use. I was actually talking to a couple people the other day, and I realized they don't put banish after use enough, I think, on the Fan Z cards.
Yeah.
And so I'm totally cool with both those cards getting the banish after use clause. I think it solves a lot of issues before they became really prevalent in the meta. I'm just sad to see it go because I was playing a lot of shenanigans decks with Crashing Drill and Torching Drill with Bicycle Kicks and just recurring the kicks over and over again. But it's probably for the better.
I'm going to go ahead and correct you, buddy. They do putting them banish after use on cards, just not orange cards. They put them on the Namekian cards a lot, bro. A lot of the Namekian cards from Fan Z are banish after use.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's because they have no love for Namekian like you do, apparently, so...
Dude, Namekian Justice Punch, though. That card is
gross, yeah.
Card is fantabulous.
The other one, too, Force Push, both those cards are nuts.
Yeah, Force Push is... Dang, I'm pulling on it now just get tilted for the fact that... Oh, they're not? No, that's right. Force Push isn't, and that card is huge damage.
I don't think either one of those cards are banished after use.
See, look at you, Wayne. Look at you, looking silly.
Nah, chill, bro.
You're the one who brought up Justice Punch.
Namekian Greed is banished after use. Namekian Chase is banished after use.
A lot of
Shot is banished after use.
Doesn't Greed go get a Dragon Ball though?
Greed puts Dragon Ball, shuffles it in, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it shuffles. A lot of the villains only cards.
Sorry.
A lot of the villains only cards from Fan Z from Namekian were banished after use, I think.
Yeah,
the new one, Malicious Greed, I think is also banished after use.
Yep.
Resourceful Shot needs to be banished after use, though, right? Because otherwise it's just a recurable energy attack forever.
It's always in my discard pile.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could give it the clause where it banishes itself when you use it, but from the discard pile, you can banish a card from your hand and banish the Resourceful Shot to play a copy of it or something. Could have been the text, I guess, but it's just easy to put banish after use on it.
You'd have to use an additional card.
Yeah.
You couldn't play it anymore.
Yeah.
Cool idea.
Jeez.
Point being, Orange needs more Banish FPs.
There you go.
Yeah.
It took a lot of words to get here, but we're here.
Yeah, but we figured it out together.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. This is like a random off-topic thing, but I'm super excited for Great Saiyaman MP.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with him.
Because all he does is dab on him.
You do have a weird affinity for MPs that dab.
MPs that dab? Yes.
It's sad, man, because like when he does come out and it's his time to dab, dabbing won't even be popular.
That's probably true.
You're right. That's the reason why I chose Ginyu for the WMAT. Because him and his squad just dab on you. That's all they do.
There are definitely a lot of them doing it, that's for sure.
All right. So, last thing for Orange. Got touched a lot. Drills have memory.
Yeah, it's pretty big for Orange.
Initial thoughts. Go.
I think it's fine. I mean, I can't really think of like other styles that care about it as much as Orange. Orange cares about it a ton, obviously, especially like Retribution, but I think it's fine. I mean, anything that reels that mastery back some is gonna be better, I think, for the game as a whole. So.
Yeah, I mean, there are only a handful of drills that that people used to use anyway. So I mean, the change is welcome, but I don't think it's gonna completely change the way the game is played or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, like one of the biggest thing is what, like, possession drill becomes slightly worse, crying drill becomes slightly worse. The two block drills, the new attack, but that was, I guess, I'm assuming already designed with that in mind.
That's about it, man.
Yeah, there's not really much else. I mean, like, I guess there's corner cases for like other styles where like someone blows up your drill that you've used and you could like go and get it back, but Orange is really the only thing that really cares about it that much.
I feel like Red can get some shit off sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's the other thing too, right, is scanning drill got changed.
Yeah.
So now it's an instant effect instead of a constant effect. So those trying to play Bardock level 2 and mill your opponent to death through a trick shot can't do that anymore.
The funny thing about that change to me was like, let's talk about all the events that have to happen in order for that combo to go off. Number one, you either have to be a red deck playing scanning drill, or a black deck running trick shot and schematics, and you have to have gotten to level 2, and the drill has to be in play, and you need a riot javelin in your hand. Like, there's a lot of things that have to take place for the perfect storm to happen. Like, that deck will never win a tournament, like, because of that combo.
But I think
it may win one game.
I think it's just one of those things where, like, they didn't want people to have that situation arise accidentally and then have someone have, like, a bad taste in their mouth, I think. Where it's like, I was playing Trick Shot because it's a good card for me, but now I just die because I played it? Like, that sucks.
Okay, so you're telling me that it's okay to fix that right away, but in Pansy they released a card called Orange Charge, and they let that be a thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is too close to home for you, Matt.
No, I'm just saying, like,
we're getting too close.
Too close, bro. We'll get real passionate.
No,
and then we don't
I get what you're trying.
Man.
I get what you're trying to get at. I think the difference is one of them is a deck designed with a purpose in mind that is piloted by the person trying to set off the chain reaction. Whereas like the scanning trick shot thing could just be a random occurrence. Like before that was like released, like I was playing scanning drill in red decks just for value. Like it seemed kind of weird, but like I have a thing where I play a lot of the self-anger lowering stuff in red anyway. So like that just was a value drill for me to be playing. And so now like if I happen to be playing Bardock with that and you just so happen to trick shot not realizing what's going on, you just lose, which sucks. Like I don't want to win that way because you just didn't realize what you were doing. Like
I mean, in what universe though is Red Bardock even good?
When that drill was constant, it was good.
Wasn't it though?
I actually played against a couple of them, and they seemed pretty impressive. Like by all means, that is based on the decks I played.
But. I was gonna say, like,
hey, I've been playing a lot of like chilled and some other stuff lately to try to get ready for South Kai. So like I have been playing slightly more competitive things than I usually do.
Real man decks? I'm playing some real man decks?
Yeah, basically. Trying. Not a lot. I'm just dabbling a little bit.
Brother, playing the real man decks.
That's right.
Brother.
But no, I mean, it seemed like it had potential, and I think it's one of those things where, like, I think I don't know if like the dev team is on like that far ahead of like thinking about the meta, but I think they'd rather get rid of those things before big events happen than to have events ruined by those kinds of interactions. Like in Pansy, yeah, they weren't that great at it, but there's no reason for them not to get good at it now, right? Like,
let me get this straight. So you're trying to tell me that interaction would have ruined a large game? That's what you're saying right now.
It's possible, right? It's possible. Like how salty
a red ruthless drill Bardock walks into a tournament full of black decks.
Well, they don't even have to be like a drill heavy deck. They just have to be playing scanning drill.
Well,
like, and you're
a red Bardock deck walks into a room of just a sea of black decks and ruins the tournament for everybody.
Black is seeing a lot more play now. Black did get good again. Like, you can't deny that Black isn't playable now.
Like, they have Devious again, but still, the Devious decks are trying to beat you. They're probably not playing, like, schematics that heavily. Like, it's probably in, like, 30% of the deck, if that.
Yeah. Well, it's not even just, like, the schematics thing, right? Like, you could just be playing... You tutor for your own drills, right? Like, because it's just it was just a value engine in Bardock. Like, whether it was killing your opponent instantly or just milling them little by little, like, that still counts for something in that deck. Like, it was just an anger reset, basically, for that deck.
All right. Well, I guess Red Scanning Drill is officially the Aetherworks Marvel of...
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's what I'm trying to get at. That's what I'm trying to get at, yeah.
I play Magic, so that's funny. All right, sorry.
I think
guys.
we all play
sorry
Magic.
For our DDC
yeah, we do.
Yeah, right. You know, everyone listening doesn't know what the fuck Aetherworks Marvel is. So.
Yeah, they don't have to know.
Thank God for the emergency ban on Felidar Guardian. Like,
that's right.
Thank the Lord. Copycat from DBC's gone. All right.
That's right.
Legacy bonus ruling discussion. We hinted at some Devious being back. How do you guys feel about the two masteries kind of coming back?
Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
Yeah, Wayne, give me your thoughts, man.
Black Tien is back, and I could not be happier. I also think that overall it's going to balance out, the color spectrum in the game, because I feel as though that the black decks will kind of check the orange decks a little bit more, because the fact that they might draw drills anyway and be down a card, now they're down kind of 2 with the Devious discard, so that's kind of cool. Maybe we won't see as many orange decks as we did in the past, but it's just cool. It's just cool to think about black decks again, and they may have Scouts now. Scouts is back in the meta. It's just fun to think about. I think it's a good change.
Kreisman, what about you?
So I've always been on the bandwagon that I like the idea of having new masteries brought in instead. I like what they're trying to do by keeping the MPs that can use these limited to the MPs that really need the help. So I'm all for them trying to uplift some subpar MPs by bringing back powerful masteries. I think if you want to go for like the better balance, I still think that the better way of doing it is to just release 2 masteries somehow. If you want to put them as previews in another set, or you want to figure something else to like just have them printed, that lets everyone use them, but you can gear them towards those MPs, but still keep them open enough for everybody else. That's kind of how I would have hoped the situation would have been fixed. That being the case, like, I think this is fine. Like, I don't think that you're going to, like, regret seeing Devious or Enraged against you, knowing that you have 2 full sets of extra cards that they just cannot use. I think that balances it out, too. So, I don't know. It's just kind of funky for me from, like, a rules perspective, because it opens up the door for people to get accidental, like, losses because maybe they didn't know that you can only have, some of the limited cards and they have a full playset. Things like that.
Well, I'd like to debate this with you. So you're saying that you would have liked them to maybe release 2 of the masteries for, some of the more weaker ones or the ones that lost their masteries in the past. So there would be more, say, red and black masteries than there would be all the rest.
Well, there would be, though, right? Because if you don't bring Devious and you don't bring Enrage back, you just create 2 new masteries, 1 for each one. So, yes, while the new masteries wouldn't be the set 1 cycle, they would basically take the place of those masteries. They would do something different, obviously, but something that still fits into the scheme of what was going on, right?
Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, and I think that makes it a little less murky because then you still give the opportunity for other MPs that want to try that mastery out the ability to, but you can tailor the powers on those masteries to try to benefit those weaker MPs more. I don't know how you would do it. It really just depends on what fits for the card pool in those styles. It's hard to do it because you don't want to open Pandora's box and then have the same issues that made Devious and Enraged banned in the first place. So it's kind of a weird ordeal, but that's the way I would have liked to see it done personally. But again, like I said, them being back but limited, I think that's fine.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I actually take kind of a contrarian stance. I actually wish that they didn't allow the masteries back.
Okay.
Main reason why is because I just don't like the weird restrictiveness that you have to put on them. I understand the point of buffing lesser tiered characters, but at the end of the day, we know that the designer's design intent changed from set 1 through set 7 when you look at MPs, and you know that eventually all those MPs are going to be essentially irrelevant to an extent. I'd much rather buff MPs through introducing new levels from what they did. So it just takes an MP like Nappa level 2. Giving those additional levels is really cool. Or Villain Vegeta. Getting Villain Vegeta, that new level 1, does a few things. It makes his old stack better, but it also makes future stacks that are Villain, cooler. Because, now you can use that level 1 to get to, Majin Vegeta level 2, instantly in a turn. So I'd much rather them go that way.
Can we debate that a little bit? I'm sorry, I hate to interject, but is Nappa 2 and the Vegeta 1, does it really do enough to, say, bolster the NP to a competitive status?
No, I'm not saying that they're, ultra competitive. I'm just saying that, if I want to play those stacks, I don't feel that I'm, no matter what, you're going to feel hindered when you play with those stacks. But when I'm playing with, those different things, I feel like it opens up more deck archetypes to me than just playing a Black Devious deck that you could write the 60-card list for right now without even thinking about, or write a Red Enraged deck of 60 cards that you can write without even thinking about. I'd rather create newer, better play patterns with the older MPs themselves than just go, hey, you guys can use this old archetype now.
I don't know, man. I think that it takes it to a different level of playability when you bring back, that mastery, because if you give an MP a new level, it might make that personality playable while he or she is on that level. But if you give them the mastery, then no matter what level they're on, they're stronger and can keep up with some of the newer MPs that have more effects than the older ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but if you look at just so. Oh, that's hot.
Who is that?
That was Wayne. Washing his hands, flushing the toilet. I appreciate that, Wayne.
This is real life.
Right when you started talking, that's what I'm going to do.
I do.
Now, if I can interject for a second.
No,
See, I'm going to let you finish.
Nappa's level 2 did what the stack needed to and created a bridge to Nappa level 3 and 4, which wasn't there before. And I don't think, regardless of the masteries, that needed to happen anyway. But I also like the idea of continuing to make cards that are supporting the masteries that you currently have. And right now, by just having 2 masteries that can't ever see updated cards, it just seems almost like a waste. This honestly was only done to just appease people that were fans of those masteries.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why this was done. And if Richie, in the CRD update, if he doesn't make this happen, if he doesn't do this legacy bonus rule, which originally I don't even think he was supposed to. If he doesn't do this, then Fanzy doesn't do this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see kind of the middle ground. Like, I think the new levels for Vegeta and Nappa, kind of alongside with the new named cards for some of the Legacy guys, were definitely like quality of life improvements.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree that like it's not with those levels and those named cards. It was these are choices you can play again and feel comfortable picking them. But with these masteries, it's like these styles are relevant again. So they're kind of like two different arguments, honestly, that happen to blend decently together. The downside is, like Matt said, instead of just giving them new tools and working from the new tools up, giving them these old tools means that they're never going to get a chance to use new tools again while this rule exists.
Yeah, like
and that's not really good design space.
When I'm designing, even when I'm making decks right now, I haven't touched Devious Mastery, and the reason why is because I want to play with 3 Black Interrogations from set 9. I want to play with 3 Smoothness Drills to create the card advantage that I want in the deck. Like, and like those are things that I want to be able to do. And if I want, like, so let's just take Tau. Tau can play with Devious Mastery, but if you build a Black Devious Tau deck, like that deck is going to be a lot worse than almost like a Conflict or a Perceptive, because at least in those decks you get to play with more hand manipulation than you do in a Devious deck. Like, I just feel like you're playing almost like you're not playing Devious. You're playing the watered down version of Devious. Like,
I think the issue with that is, so you give yourself the ability to have a guaranteed hand disruption once per combat, and the chip damage is obviously fine. But with an MP like Tau, like you're saying, like the chip isn't going to matter a ton, because like you're already milling. If you're playing the Tau that like how I like to play, where you're at level 2 and all you're doing is throwing attacks and you don't have to give a shit if they hit or not, the chip damage is kind of irrelevant. But because you're not getting that hand manipulation, like being able to play like 3 interrogations or 3 memories or 3 strength displays like you could potentially with the other ones, like, are you really gaining enough just by putting him in Devious? And I think Matt's right. I don't think you are.
I don't know. I feel like I do see what you're saying, but you do get... The thing is, like, if you're playing Devious, you're pretty much guaranteed 1 discard per combat.
Yeah.
Whereas you're not guaranteed that in the other 2. Now, mind you, you get to play more cards with that effect, but even if you play those cards, you still only get 1 discard outlet pretty much if you're playing Conflict from the Mastery. You might get some from, like, if you're playing like a Speedy Dodge or something like that, but you pretty much only have 1 discard outlet, which means at the end of the day, you're still only getting 1 net, make them discard a card.
Yeah, but if that's the case, like, is the +1/+1 in that situation worth not playing Fan Z cards? And I don't know if it is. Like, for him, I don't know if it is.
That's a question, because Trick Shot's real good.
Yeah. And the whole thing is, like, do you want to forego 2 entire sets of tools that you could use just for that bonus, which is, you know, what we talked about the entire time all those masteries were frozen, right? Like, you need the bonus. Well, you don't really need the bonus. You just need to expand the way you perceive deck building. Yeah, but the bonus makes it better. Well, of course it makes it better. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the right option.
Right.
Yeah, like, I mean, even if you take a card like Trick Shot and Devious, no matter what, is still only doing 4 life cards.
Can't even play Trick Shot Devious.
Nobody's saying if you could, because you can't modify it. Yeah.
It was possible. Like, and so Trick Shot in Conflict is now just better, because it has the capability to crit along with the fact that it has the effect that it's generating. So it's just, I just feel like you're missing out too much in those styles. Like, that honestly, like, having those styles in the game, it's just not doing anything. Like, it's just, again, it's just making people happy for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, like, it will be nice to know that, like, going into some of these events, you could see stuff like Black Tien or Black Krillin, you know, or Roshi. These decks that people haven't played because those masters weren't there. Like, so it's cool to me to see that more options have opened up. Whether those options are better than what other ones for those MPs could be, you know, I'm not one to really, like, say whether they are or aren't. But it's cool that people are thinking about those MPs again.
Yeah, because I'm still not mentally prepared to go to an event, sit down, and my opponent pull out Black Krillin again. Like Devious. Like, in my mind, it's still something that can happen. But
yeah, I wrote about that the other day about how like you don't want to go into an event with like a D-ball deck and then go like, oh shit, I forgot Black Krillin was a thing.
unless you're Kami, because then you just don't care.
Or
that's probably also true.
Yo, man, take these balls. I'm gonna get them.
No.
I'm gonna get them. Take them. I don't want them. I'll get them back later. All right. So we talked about legacy bonus rulings. We talked about our opinions about it. So topic number 2. Set 9 came out. So what decks have we been testing for the new meta so far? Kreitzman, you're our brewmaster here. So
I've been building a lot of weird stuff as per usual. So I've been, because South Kai's coming up, and I'm trying to take it a little more seriously after doing so terribly at East Kai. I've been playing a lot of chilled decks. I really like chilled. I have, pun intended, kind of cooled on him a little bit. Like I thought he was insane when he first came out, but I am starting to see the pitfalls in his strategy, and not every style can help bring that back up. So he might be more shoehorned in certain directions than I thought he was at first. I've also built this kind of crazy Cell Mill deck for Saiyan, for the WMAT, which we've mentioned a couple different times now, but for those who don't know, we're going to get into that later. And that deck's really cool. I actually have built a couple different Kami decks as well, and then actually earlier today I built a Namekian Future Gohan restored that is not what you would expect, I think, from that. Like, it was trying to capitalize on the take a bunch of actions Namekian cards. This is a deck that I've played in the past that Matt can attest to, that it didn't do great, but sometimes it had explosive combats, and now with stuff like Stomach Crusher, you might be able to force that combat to continue for much longer than your opponent wants to. So it's something I want to try out again. I haven't tested it yet, but on paper it seems cool. So
it seems like a bad time to do it. Not knocking the idea. Not per se bad, but like a less ideal time, especially with the reintroduction of Beauteous, because now there will probably be more black decks in the meta, and they end combat like it's nobody's business. So.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Like, yeah, well, I mean, that's why the deck plays Stomach Crushers and ways of getting rid of like power-ups before they can use them. I'm not saying that the deck won't have issues with those decks anyway. It probably will. I don't think it's a deck that I would take to a big event, but it's something that I want to test because I've always liked the idea of a really aggressive, like, beat-down Namekian deck, and there really hasn't ever been one besides, like, energy beats. And so I wanted to try to take it as, like, a little more on, like, the physical or kind of hybrid route, because there's a lot of really cool, aggressive Namekian cards. I just want to see what you can do with the pool.
Yeah, what about that, it's like Namekian Right Kick or something from set 3 that it's a physical for like 6 stages, hits, goes and gets a name card?
Yeah, you get a named attack. Yeah, they have 3 of those in there with
I was gonna say,
with power punches, yeah. So the list seems like it could be fun. Like I said, I'm not saying that like black isn't its worst nightmare. It probably is. But, that being said, I think it's still a deck that is a cool enough idea to at least try.
Yo, Wayne, what about you, man?
I think he fell off for a second.
All right,
as he is known to do.
I'm waiting for my Octagon to load so I can talk about all these decks. I can just shoot off the cuff. Oh, Wayne, are you back? Hey. Dude, I was so worried about you.
Thanks,
yeah,
guys.
Matt was starting to cry a little bit.
I was, man. So, Wayne, what have you been testing for this new meta that's on the horizon?
Well, testing is a real loose word, but I've been playing a lot of the old TN deck that I used to play. It's crazy because with the legacy ruling that fantasy cards can't be used, I pretty much just go back to what I was doing, and it kind of still works, so that's cool. But other than that, I've been trying them in a couple of different masteries, like me and Ryan Lewis, one of the locals here in Jersey, have been trying a Resolute TN, which is pretty cool because you still get that buffer and stuff, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
and of course,
kind of a similar deck, yeah.
Yeah, it's just I I don't like not having the random destroy off the top of the deck effects that you would get in black. I feel as though that's where a lot of the deck strengths came from. But I mean, it still does okay. Outside of that, Slug got a new toy in Malicious Intent, so that's always good. But it's been interesting, man. I've been playing a lot more Octagon, and it's refreshing.
Yeah, I mean, like we said the first episode, like now that Octagon is kind of the place to play, you can appreciate it, I think, a little bit more. Like like I said, I know I certainly didn't enjoy it when the game was actually like physically playable in card shops, but since that's not really a big option anymore, Octagon has actually grown on me a ton.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way about Octagon. So I've actually built a pretty good amount of decks. So for new meta, I've been testing a lot of weird stuff. Of course, I think Chilled, like that MP, my favorite deck with him has been Ascension Chilled. Because even after his levels got changed a bit, that still feels like the style that gets the most from him. Perceptive's really good too. Like Perceptive just throws huge chunks of damage, so I think that deck is really well positioned, and has the ability to camp on a level, which is helpful because if Broly is seemingly Chilled's worst matchup because of Broly's ability to mess with your stages when you level, Perceptive kind of gives you a little bit of advantage there. My favorite deck that I've been playing is Ascension Kami. Like I have the most fun playing that deck just because. It's definitely my style. Like it's advancing its win condition while it's not interacting too much, but it's also generating a lot of actions in combat, being able to weave in and out of combat, and then I get to do a lot of math, which surprisingly for me, I have a lot of fun whenever I play a DBZ game and can kind of work the edges of a game and end up spinning it in my favor just with some good old fashioned math.
Work the edges.
Work the edges, baby. Work the edges. Kreitzman witnessed me worship, manipulate his edges quite a bit. So
that's true. I can attest to that.
What? Ew, this is getting weird, bro. What are you talking about?
Now we know why Wayne keeps dropping out.
Look here, dude. I need you to calm down, bro. If a brother can't manipulate another brother's edges, dude, we got a problem.
Oh man, we might have a problem, Houston.
All right.
God damn.
God damn it. So Ascension Kami's been probably my favorite deck to play so far. And then I built some weird off the cuff stuff yesterday. I built a Black Conflict Android 16 with the new level 1. That's surprisingly good.
Really?
Yeah, because 3 stare downs, 3 black interrogation, 2 confrontation, good blocks, lots of hand manipulation in there. I don't play that many dead cards in, so Tranquility's pretty live. That deck actually won a few games yesterday, and then I made a tag team cooler deck that is surprisingly really good. So
what do you tag for?
Either Salsa.
What do you tag for?
either Salsa, Ginyu, or Goldo. Oh, and I run King Cold as well, I think.
Okay. That's kind of. I mean, I guess Salsa is like the no-brainer one, but I like the other options there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, dude, I get funky.
Trust me, I've seen your Ginyu list. You definitely get funky.
Get that for sure. No, so yeah, I've been playtesting a good amount of stuff, but I've been really cold on Bardock ever since my first 3 rounds of testing. He just feels like an MP that just wants to do more, but just doesn't have the ability to.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people playing him. I think he's such a strange MP. Well, obviously there is some straightforward stuff like we said, like him in black. I'm sure some stuff will probably work its way out eventually. I certainly would like to see him do well. Like I'd hate for him to come out and be sort of like the same position that kind of King Kai was in last set, where he seemed cool but just didn't do anything.
That was sad.
I know, especially because King Kai looked really cool and his ability to manipulate his allies and stuff seemed sweet, but it just didn't go anywhere. And I'd hate to see them do that again, just by adding an MP without any real tools to buff that MP,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I honestly think that's what the category Bardock's going to fall into, though. If you just compare him to the other MPs that were released with him, you're gonna see that. I mean, and we were I think somebody was talking about They said, how can any MP with the ability to gain hand knowledge be bad? And my comparison was, if you just look at Bardoc's level 1 versus Android 20's level 1.
Yeah.
So Android 20 is essentially doing an attack because he's doing stages of damage to you. Yeah, you have to take them yourself, but that's worth almost a card. Then you're revealing the hand, which is anywhere between worth 0.5 to 1 card. Then you're going to get a drill, which is worth X amount of cards, and X equals the amount of time that drill impacts the game. So it's like that versus Bardoc's it's insanely better. Like, so that's how, I mean, that's the comparison I kind of make. And in every game, you have to start on level 1 to start the game, unless you play Dynamic, and that's why Dynamic is one of his best decks.
Yeah. Well, it's also one of the things, too, I think you and I have talked about in the past, where, like, hand knowledge is obviously an insane ability, but if you just play a certain way, assuming that your opponent has those answer cards in their hand already, the knowledge, like the perfect knowledge of their hand, can be skewed to be less valuable than it appears to be. Like, if you're just a type player and go like, all right, I know what my game plan is here. If he has X card, then it screws this plan up, so I'm going to do this instead. Like, you could just have the knowledge and just have it open in front of you, but if you have that train of thought anyway, the knowledge is basically there without having the 100%. Like, playing 80% and thinking about what could be there before you take actions is sometimes better than the 100%, depending on what you're playing against.
I don't know, man. That certainty has to count for something.
I mean, it helps, but, like, it also waters down the rest of his stack, right?
I mean,
like, he could be doing insane things if he didn't have that hand knowledge, right?
Yeah, like, if you just take the example of, you know, I'm Bardock, say I'm playing Black Bardock deck, and I'm playing against, Sam Broly, and they enter on me, and I draw a setup, a sphere, 1 attack, and 1 block. And I gain access to their hand, and their hand is 3 attacks, 1 block, plus their MP power, which is an attack. Did I gain advantage from seeing that hand?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's always going to be...
I know, I'm just saying, but
I'm saying I agree with you 100%.
Whenever you build a deck, you have to take into, like, what could my worst possible draw be, and how could I get out of that combat not dying?
Yeah. And, I mean, like, I do agree that, like, having 100% information, if you're playing decks that have ways to get out of combat, like power-ups, like blinding energy moves, like Red Retreat, you know, cards like that, then having 100% information is totally worth it, because you're like, oh, like, his hand's insane and mine is shitty. Let's get out of here. Like, I'm not just like disagreeing that 100% knowledge in that situation is great. But there's also going to be situations, like Matt said, where having the information was worth 0 to you because you already looked at your hand and went, I'm going to get the shit kicked out of me this turn. So, like, it's just this weird toss-up. Like, it's weird.
And, I mean, I know that as a player, like, you have ways of, like, bluffing. Like, I've done that before. Like, where I see my opponent's amazing-ass hand and I'm sitting on a pile of dog shit, and I'm just, like, you know, confidently saying, you know, during the middle of the combat, like, after an action, just, I'll pass. And then just, like, waiting to see them either spew their hand and then, you know, or maybe they hold back an attack because they're worried that something's going to happen. Like, but there's only so much you can do when it's, like, when your opponent gets the lead on that you have a bad hand, like, they're just going to capitalize, so.
Yeah.
But, anyway, so, talk about decks we've been excited for, which we did, and then any non-MP cards from Legends that have impressed you so far. Wayne, have you had any cards that aren't MP related that kind of made its way into some of your decks that you've been tinkering around with?
That are from the new set?
Yeah.
Again, Solar Flare, 10 Solar Flare is really good, but Trick Shot, man, Black Trick Shot. It's like when you first looked at it, you're like, oh, that's kind of cool, but like in practice, it's a lot better because it effectively walls your opponent, especially if you play it on your turn, because it falls off at the beginning of your next turn.
Yeah.
The effect that's a very long time to stop your opponent from essentially gaining anger, especially in a style like Black, because it's been one of its greater weaknesses since the beginning of the game. So I feel as though that card has been very impactful, and it also it brings another card to the forefront from one of the older sets, Black Extreme Blast, one of the attached cards. you can essentially stop your opponent from gaining anger. It's like very, very easy, depending on if you're playing the right strategy for that effect to proc for you.
And that Extreme Blast was the one that when you mill them, they lose an anger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that card's always been interesting. It's cool to see if that'll actually make its way into decks, because that was the other like dream scenario combo card was like that with Biting Drill.
Right.
And Schematics sort of makes that happen, but you have to hope that your opponent's playing blue and that they're playing Biting Drill. But I think Extreme Blast, like you said, I think that card is interesting on its own. So it'll be cool to see if people play it, like now that they have Trick Shot.
Yep.
Kreisman, what about you, man?
This might seem kind of weird, but like all of the Saiyan cards in this set are nuts. Like I'm not usually a Saiyan player, but having like tested the Saiyan Mill cell that I have right now, all of those skip cards and like the suppression drill, they're all really good. Like I thought they were kind of cute at first, but they're a lot better than they look.
Yeah, the skip cards are just gross. Especially because like you get to block, do an action, and then you get another action right after it. Yeah. Like those feel pretty insane whenever I play them.
Especially if you combo them cards like Gut Kick and stuff like that, and things
or
just
even
get really out of
Sword Style. If you're not critting, then they keep continuing to skip. It's pretty insane. You could just take over a combat out of nowhere by accident.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. Didn't mean to get out of control like that.
Yeah, I guess I'll play every card in my hand before you can do anything again.
Yeah. So, let me try and think about cards that I've played with, aside from MPs that I've been the most impressed with.
See, the trick is you're supposed to be thinking while me and Kreitz tell you ours.
I mean, I can tell you more that I like if you want while you're thinking. Like, Blue Zinger is a card that I'm super 100% behind, especially now that it has the lower your opponent's anger one on it.
Yeah.
Like that card is like now one of my dream blue cards. The new blue drill, recuperating drill, is nuts. Just even passively like manipulating yours or your opponent's anger just when entering is gross. The copy is obviously icing on the cake, but like that anger manipulation before they can even respond to it is sweet. There's just so many goodies in this set. Like, there's a lot going on.
So this is a real serious question. I don't know if you guys are prepared for it, but as a whole, where do you think that Legends stacks up to Celestial Tournament?
Ooh.
I think. Oh man, I think Legends is so much more well-rounded. As a set, that I think Legends ends up being the better set, and it's also easier too because the set was smaller.
Yeah,
which is helpful.
Was it smaller? I thought it was. Yeah. I thought it was bigger.
I think Legends is smaller.
Here, I'll pull it up while we talk. Let me do some digging. So Legends was 61, and Celestial was 58. It actually was 3 cards bigger.
Oh wow! Well, I still think it was better overall. I think it was more well-rounded.
See, that Coons be talking out his ass.
Dude,
yeah. No, I do agree though. That I think
it's like 70% of the content I do.
I do think that Legends is better though because I mean just look at like what Blue got out of Celestial Tournament. Basically nothing. Like every style this time around felt like it got a boost.
Right. So many playable cards are in the set.
Yeah. And I think that was like obviously like the situation for tournament where like they kind of were just trying to get something out because they didn't want the excitement of the game to dwindle now that it had, stopped being produced. So I think some stuff was clearly rushed. I mean, again, like Blue Style was not great. I don't remember there being that many. Let me look at Celestial again. That many good black cards? I mean, Gut Crusher's good. Constant Barrage is a sweet card, but it never sees. Like, no one really plays it.
The drill was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Absorption Drill, but that, I mean, so you got one absolutely playable card, and 2, 80% playables, and the rest are just
yeah.
for that style. Blue had basically 0% playable.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, this time around, almost every single card you can look at it and go, yeah, I can see a deck that could play that. And that's what got me excited about this set in particular, is that every single card feels like it has a home. Like, just for being printed. You're like, yep, that has definitely the potential of being somewhere where it's going to be impactful. Whereas, like, Celestial Tournament, if it wasn't, like, the MPs or the named cards, it didn't really feel... I mean, outside of Orange, obviously. We all know about Orange from that set. I'm not going to go into it. But, like, if it wasn't MP-related, everything else just felt kind of there for the sake of being there, but more as, like, a placeholder, which, like, you don't want to see.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I agree with you on that. Speaking of which, the card that I've enjoyed the most has been the red physical attack for +4, raise your anger 1, and then if stopped, you go get a drill.
Oh, cheap shot? That card's
yeah.
sweet.
I like that card a lot. I just like cards that have those simple effects, whether it be like a drawback for your opponent blocking it, or just a generic +4 raise your anger 1, like with some amount of endurance on it. Like that card all around just feels really good whenever you play it.
It's
especially
just like
in Ruthless decks.
Yeah, the other Chokehold in red also seems really cool, because it lets you double dip on criticals, because you can capture Dragon Ball or crit an ally and still lower their anger 1, or just lower their anger 2 if you want. Like, that's another card that's very simple in design, but has a lot of, like, power in a game. Yeah.
No, I like that card a lot too. So, but yeah, back to Legends. I just think Legends just had so many more playable cards.
Mm-hmm.
Cards that got me wanting to play the game a lot more often, and even the MPs that were released got me to want to play the game more often. Whereas Celestial Tournament, like, they were kind of exciting, but the only MP that I really wanted to play with was Future Gohan.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I tried King Kai, and it just didn't really work.
just didn't do enough. And PyCon's good. Like, PyCon's the one Celestial Tournament MP that I wish could use Devious, because that just has a deck written all over it. Like,
I just feel like it would probably be too good. Is the problem?
Now, one day somebody's going to throw PyCon in the physical deck, and it's going to work, because like his stages are insane.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
His stages are nuts.
Yeah, I play him in Ruthless with like definitely more of mixed beats, but it's like definitely more so on the physical side, and it gets pretty nutty for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish they would have made him more of a physical based MP instead of giving him the
advanced
attack
stick.
on level 1.
Yeah.
If they would give him a physical attack on level 1, different MP.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So now we talked about that stuff. The first online World Martial Arts Tournament event, Chris Kreitzman. This is your baby.
Yes, this is my brainchild.
This is your baby. You should talk about your baby.
Yeah. So this was an idea I came up with. I'm trying to remember what set was out. It might have been set 3 or set 4. We were trying to figure out a way to get people excited to try new decks, without basically making them feel bad for trying new decks. Like a safe environment where you could explore without being like punished for playing something new. And so what I came up with was the World Martial Arts Tournament, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a tournament like bracket system. It's double elimination instead of single elimination, because no one really wants to come with a new deck, get crushed, and then be like, well, that was fun for like 10 minutes. So it's double elimination instead. But the cool thing about it is every MP is unique. So there's only one Goku player, one Vegeta player, one Gohan, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's a couple other caveats as well to kind of add some excitement to the tournament. So the current reigning champion gets to ban a personality of their choice. They basically get to bribe them from coming to the event, so no one can pick that MP. And then once everyone has picked their MP, I post up the brackets for people, and then the reigning champion gets to make someone run the gauntlet, which means that they each start on opposite ends of the bracket, and the only way they can meet each other is by doing well and reaching the higher end of the tournament. So it kind of brings a little more like competitiveness to a more fun, casual like event. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, we ran 4 in person. This is our 5th one that we're running online for the Dragon Ball Z Octagon League Facebook group. There are 35 unique MPs as of right now in the game. one got banned, and the other 34 slots got completely filled up, which blew my mind. The next closest we had ever had was, I think, 12 or 14. So to see every single MP taken for the event makes me feel good, because people are going to have to explore and play MPs that they just haven't tried before. And that, as the deck brewer, it makes me so excited that people get to come and see the lab like I do. Take this MP, what is it good at? What is it weak at? Figure it out. That to me is really exciting.
Yeah, as a person that's played in many of World Martial Arts tournaments, I know that whenever I pick, yeah, well, Christ used to have them all the time at the Charlottesville shop.
Oh,
yeah, he was part of my local, yeah.
Yeah, so I myself would usually choose an MP that wasn't seeing too much play, or something that I could just do something different with, just to kind of expand upon my own creativity. And a lot of times it didn't necessarily lead me to wins, because that wasn't really what I was looking for, but it did lead me to new strategies and stuff that I would take with a more competitive deck, and ended up creating some of the more competitive things that I've played with, in the future. So you can definitely take a lot away from these tournaments, and just, the fact that it's something fun that you can do online, and it keeps up community interaction, which the community is the best part of this game, so the fact that you get to do it still in this forum is kind of a really cool thing. And plus, everyone has their sits of pride. Everyone gets somewhat clingy to their MP mastery combination when they go through this. So I think that was fun. Yeah,
it's also oh yes. It's also great too, because the bracket is online for people to view, and I can post it in the description on YouTube when I post this up for everyone, so you can kind of see how the bracket panned out if you're not part of the WMAT. The fun thing is seeing upsets. You'll see, Goku's playing, Yamcha. Well, I think I know how this is going to go, and then you see that, it's the opposite. You're like, wow, and you go and talk to those people, and what happened? I got to know the information, and again, it just builds community, it gets people talking, and that's one of the best things I think that you can do for this game, is to constantly get people talking and excited.
Yeah, we gotta get we gotta get Kelly. We gotta get Kelly Dennis and David Spencer to stream their game of
funny.
2.
Oh yeah, the Roshi versus Tao.
Roshi versus Tao.
I'm very interested to see how that's gonna go.
Hey guy, Yamcha beat up on Goku. Tell me about your build. Why are you asking about Yamcha now? You wasn't asking about Yamcha before. And I was Goku with Yamcha, and all of a sudden motherfuckers is asking about Yamcha.
When I was yelling off the rooftops for 2 months about Yamcha, no one wanted to listen.
Oh man.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm talking about though. People change their perspectives when they have evidence that says you know what? This upset happened. Now I need to go and research why this happened. And like Matt said, you can kind of get the gears turning. But you can get the gears turning, and you can slowly take away that information to try to build for more competitive events. You probably won't play Wheelo at a Kai event, but you could take information from your Wheelo build that maybe you did play that worked well, and find an MP where that shell can still work in a competitive sense. So,
completely agree. Yeah. We also did, I remember it ended up changing my perspective on the first World Martial Arts tournament we did. It changed my perspective on Red Garlic Jr., which, a lot of the builds are really similar when you look at Garlic, but after that tournament, I definitely tweaked the way that I thought about the deck and the way that I thought the deck should run comparatively to what was out there. And that led to Thomas Engel going on a run of winning, numerous tournaments with Red Garlic Jr. It was just, it was just a cool thing to see. You just play in a little event like that, and you try something different, and then it ends up being something that you explore even more. I know the World's Martial Arts Tournament changed the way I built pretty much all my red decks, all my black decks. I started to look at cards more differently. I think between the World Martial Arts Tournament and me playing a lot of limited Magic, those two things alone definitely helped me improve as a deck designer for this game.
It's all about card evaluation.
Yeah, I just view cards just so differently now than I did before those two things.
Yeah, and it's those kind of, like, it's one of those things where you hear people say all the time that, like, restrictions breed creativity. That's exactly what the World Martial Arts Tournament is about. Like, you have this restriction. You have to play this MP that maybe you didn't want it. Like, maybe you wanted one of the MPs that, you know, was picked, you know, 10 picks earlier, and you have no idea what you're doing with the MP. But because you have that restriction, and because you want to see yourself succeed, like, there are very few people in this world who don't go into something going, you know, I'm just going to lose on purpose, or I'm going to lose and I don't care. Most people don't have that mindset. Most people go in something and go, you know what, I'm going to prove this to myself that I can do this. And that restriction of your MP can completely alter your perspective on things because you realize, like, wow, like, there's a lot more going on here than I ever gave it credit for. And I think that, like Matt said, like, I think you can take that away and now use that critical eye at other aspects of this game, of other games, and go, you know, I thought that was kind of weak, but then I saw it in action, and this card is very similar, or this mechanic is very similar, so I'm going to explore it, and I'm going to see maybe there is something to this. Like,
would
you
say
use that skill.
Would you say you gain the Millennium Eye?
It's very possible.
Fucking stupid, bro.
Joey Wheeler! Joey Wheeler! The flaming swordsman! Give it to him, Yog! Sorry.
One other great thing about the WMAT, speaking about decks that you played that you enjoyed, I have never felt so good about playing Nail in my life, except for when I played in the WMAT, when I played Black Devious Nail.
Our game was epic.
I played Black Devious Nail, and I was just beating people to death with it. And I never felt so good about Nail.
I was Black Devious Turles, and I was running Confident Shot with Turles' name card. Fucking energy attack.
Yeah, the energy ring.
Energy ring, yeah. I would Confident Shot into an energy ring. Like, that was my
Yeah,
my
and the same thing, like, I was playing Nail with, like, Confident Shots and dashing attacks and all sorts of back strikes. So you can Confident Shot into back strike once they're at 0, so they can't use endurance. Like, there's all these fun things that, like, you wouldn't expect to come out of, like, Nail, because everyone looks at Nail and goes, he's not that good. But in WMAT, anyone is good.
Yeah.
That's true.
Sweet.
This is true. Cool. So I guess, we did the draft, and there was a total of 34 players in the draft. And we all kind of took some time and wrote down our picks of who we thought would go first. We pretty much put our Mel Kiper Jr. hats on, and thought about the draft. I think we all had a unanimous first pick, and we were all wrong.
Yes,
right? We all were unanimous. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have our picks. We originally did our top 10. I think I'm just going to go over our top 5, because our top 5, just with the 5 initial picks, were kind of scattered, and I think that might be a lot to talk about anyway. Not to drag out it too much, we're just going to do the top 5. But yeah, like you were saying, we all unanimously picked Chilled as likely the best MP you can pick. For those who are not part of the event this time around, Gohan was the one that was banned out. So no one could pick Gohan. So we'd have to worry about Future Gohan or Awakening Gohan or Ally Gohan. All of the MP stack for Gohan was banned out. So we all thought, with him gone, Chilled is likely to dominate the event. And what first pick ended up being was Frieza.
What?
Yeah. So we were close. We were still in the family. But that kind of threw us all way off.
That's how you know shit was going down.
Yeah.
Like you were like, holy shit, Chilled. Like Chilled was just that fresh prospect. He was coming out for the draft. Homie was in a great position. So much talent, so much raw ability. And then he just got passed up.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Let me pull up. Let me see when he actually did get picked, because I think that's also kind of insane. Was that not only did we have him picked first, but I believe he ended up being in the middle. So let me find my sheet real quick. So we had him as first, and he ended up as pick number 8. So not that bad. I thought he was lower. But to see 8 or 7 other MPs go in front of him, when we all for sure thought that he was going to be the MP to dominate, is kind of crazy.
Bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe he went that late.
Yeah. So yeah, it's weird, right? Like, especially because like we had nothing but great things to talk about Chilled last episode, right? Like we all saw him, we were going ape shit over him. And apparently, other people just didn't think he was as impressive. And like I said, like playing with him now, there are some small problems with him. So I can see why you maybe don't pick him first. But 8th, like, to say 7 other MPs are better than him in the game, I don't know if it's true.
Stretch. It's a stretch.
Yeah.
He's officially the Aaron Rodgers of DBZ.
That's fine with me
because those earlier picks had that foresight, though.
Do I think they did? I don't know. I mean, the one thing that's great about the WMAT draft is people will always pick MPs they like, right, no matter where they are in the draft, right? So like if I'm pick number 1 and I have the entire catalog of MPs, don't be surprised if I pick like Android 18 or Tau or someone like, yeah, there's probably better MPs, but I want to play the MP I want to play. And it seems like some people definitely did that for this event too, which isn't a surprise. Happens at every single WMAT we do. But to see such a like high-powered MP kind of go to the wayside for a little while, and that happened throughout. Like we were talking about how Krillin, like now that Devious is off, like Devious Krillin would be a high pick. He was picked 27. He was 27th out of 34.
Wow.
So just to see people like take that caliber of MP so late is kind of insane.
Well, Android 13 and Android 20 both went late too.
Yeah, Android 13 was 28.
Oh my
god. 20 was 26.
That one good.
Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely like a lot of high power. I mean, same thing like Goku was 21st.
21st pick.
Yeah. We had Wayne's boy Tien at 24th pick.
Almost, baby, almost.
Oh, you were so close.
God damn it.
So I mean, just seeing like high caliber, like Broly was 22nd pick. Broly, by the way, I had as my number 2 pick. And I don't know, did you guys have him on? You guys didn't have him on your top 8, but I thought Broly for sure, especially with how well he did at East Kai, would be on people's radars.
All right, bro. So like this is crazy. You gotta just run down the list real quick.
Yeah,
you
sure.
Gotta do it.
So for the top 5 picks that happened, first was Frieza, second was Master Roshi, third was Kami, fourth was Turles, and fifth was Android 17.
Fourth was Turles?
Fourth was Turles.
Fourth?
Not only was he 4th pick, he actually started an entire wave of movie collection MP picks early in the draft. But every time like a pick came up, he was just yelling like, "Let's get movie collection going! Like we got to show people that set 3 isn't terrible." And he rallied some people early, like.
Oh my god!
God,
yeah,
that dude is officially he is the Cleveland Browns, man. That guy. Jesus.
Turles?
Hey, maybe he's on to some next level bullshit that we just don't know yet. We'll find out.
4th pick.
Yeah.
5th pick was Android 17?
Yeah, Android 17. Which, to be fair, Matt, you had him at your 6th pick. So you were pretty close.
No.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
To go over our picks, our top 5. So my 5 were Chilled, Broly, Tien, Frieza, and Roshi. So out of the top 5, I had 2 that were in there. They weren't in the same spots, but it was pretty close. I figured those MPs would be relatively high. Matt, you had Chilled, Trunks, Goku, Kami, and Android 13. So you had Kami, who was pick 3. You had him, again, a slot lower. You had him as 4th pick, but I don't think anyone's surprised that Kami went early. His MP has been nothing but good from what we've seen in testing so far. And then, Wayne, you had Chilled, Tien, Trunks, Vegeta, and Goku. So kind of, the stereotypical MPs that tend to do well. I mean, Chilled is obviously a wild card, but we have a hunch he's good. But all the other ones, yeah, I mean, until there's an event, it's all hearsay. But all the other ones you picked, they all happen to be Saiyans, with the exception of Tien, who's your boy. So I don't blame you for having him high up. And I actually, like I said, I had him third pick. I thought he would be good too. To see him pick so low is kind of weird. People still, I guess, have a strange place for him. Like, you can use Devious with him again, so that's good. His new name card's good. Is his new name card worth not playing Devious? It's hard to say. But he seems like an MP that's going to see a lot more play again. But just to see, the wide array of choices. Again, Turles being the real obvious sore thumb in the top 5.
I don't care who you are, bro. If you still sit across from Red Ruthless Turles, you're scared that you just might lose.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't think that's changed.
And it probably hasn't. And I don't know if he necessarily got more toys to make him scary. I mean, Oversized Drill might help. Just the extra +1 on everything. So everything doing base +3 with your mastery base +4, right? Base +5. Jeez. So with mastery, with Turles level 1, and with Oversized Drill, base +5 on everything you throw. Yeah, you're probably going to be terrified.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, maybe he is on something that we just didn't know.
Yeah.
Or that we just didn't pay attention to, perhaps.
Yeah, I don't think it takes much, man. With that guy.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, Black Punt, make all your shit styled.
I mean, Punt is sweet. I've already seen some people crying on Retro about punting onto, Black comboing a punt onto Awakening Vegeta and how that should be, somehow restricted.
We can't get into this design space of just nerfing random-ass combos that might happen. We can't do this.
Yeah, I mean, it opens up this whole thing of well, I don't like this situation, so we should ban that.
I don't like Blue Resolute Mastery lets me draw 2 cards with Blue Guard. I think it could be broken. We should get rid of it.
We should just ban that mastery just to be safe.
And then the umpire just goes, he's out of here.
We're not doing this right now, people. That's not fair. If they Black combo, they're punt on to me.
Hey. Every card game, at some point or other, comes down to rock, paper, scissors for your deck design. And if you are going in knowing you're Awakening Vegeta in a format that has Black Punt and has Black Combo, that's on you. That's not on anyone else.
If that happens to me, all I'm doing is just shaking that person's hand. I'm like, you did it.
You got there.
You got there, bro.
Good job, fella.
Now let me focus to salt this shit off, which is not.
Right. or I guess at that point it's your... Well, yeah, your opponent still owns it, right? So you just have to level. Even though it's on you.
Yeah, you just level, or you just focus assault off of you.
Yeah. I mean, there's options out, but it's funny to see people kind of crying about it already, and it's only been out for 2 weeks. People are already crying.
That's just Retro in general, though. The one kid that went on this huge ass rant about how the fact that drills gaining memory wasn't a more widely discussed topic by the developers of the game.
Oh, he was mad.
That dude that went on forever.
Oh, he was mad.
I don't know if I actually saw that discussion. I'm kind of glad I didn't.
I just want you to explain to me why. I just want
It came out of nowhere.
I want a longer explanation. No,
that's
man.
Spoken like a true salty orange player is what that sounds like to me.
I don't even know. I mean, all I know is that it was just ridiculous, and then it was crazy. But no, that's just Retro, man. That's the community that we adore.
And we do. There's always good and bad parts of every community, right? So you take the good with the bad.
Okay.
No. Okay. Sounds good. All right. So our last topic on this super long cast. South Kai speculation coming up on July 15th, same day as my baby girl Thomas Ingles' bachelor party.
Woo-woo.
Taking place in VA. If you want the dates are in the area, hit me up.
If you're not near VA, if you happen to be near Louisiana, though, there's a cool little thing going on. Yeah.
Yeah, if you had to be wasting your life playing children's card games Louisiana, you could go to South Kai, which is on July 15th in Slidell, Louisiana.
That's right. I know I'm personally excited. Like I said, I've been trying to test a lot more, a little more seriously than I did for East Kai. Not necessarily because I am trying to win, but going into East Kai and going 1-3 with a deck that I thought would be a good mid-tier. I never try to win. I don't. I go to enjoy myself. As weird as that sounds, I know.
Oh man, you do both though.
I could do both. But I like bringing interesting decks and talking to people that I don't get to see very often. Like that to me is worth the trip. If I do well, that's just icing on the cake. I don't expect to because I know my personal player preferences, and they often are C and lower tier. But that's just what it is. But I'll be at South Kai. I'm really excited. Me and a friend of mine actually just set up our hotel room, so we'll be down there for the weekend. I don't know what I'm going to be playing yet. I'm still going to be in the lab for the next several days.
You already know you're playing Kami.
It's possible. I know Red Ascension has done really well. I did build a really lame, Namekian Kami, just ultra lame Kami, which might be okay. I haven't tested it yet. I also have 4 different chilled builds, one for every style, which are okay. Yeah. Surprising, the thing that kind of was interesting to me is my Adept chilled hits like a fucking truck, which I was not expecting when I actually put it together.
Adept shield gets crazy.
Yeah, especially with your MVP of Orange Energized Push Your Shit In. That card really lives up to its name.
And that card just does you dirty.
Yeah.
Just does you dirty.
I've hit some people with that for a lot. We'll see. I'm sure I'll bring a bunch of different decks, and it'll come down to just what I see and what I feel like playing at the moment. But I'm excited. I think it'll be fun.
I'm going to send you my list for my Orange Charge Bardock combo deck that I made.
Orange Chardock?
Orange Chardock.
Orange Chardock. That's what it's called. Yeah, I'll send you that sweet list. It's a combo deck.
That sounds pretty money.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's just because you just Orange Sword Chop into Premonition, and then do that to draw cards, and then play Lasso to draw another card, and then play Orange Excavation to draw the bottom card of your discard pile.
Yes, it's very similar to that.
That's exactly the entire time you're playing the game. That sound is played the entire time.
You're apparently a turkey.
It's like whenever I played a Cell Junior deck it was at the tournament that was the following day after Worlds for ARG. I was playing a Cell Junior deck, and every time I would go up to the table, Josh would play Waka Flocka's Heart of the Paint whenever I got to the table. And put down my Cell Junior MP stack.
What style?
It was Saiyan Dynamic Cell Junior, and I would just sit on level 2, a big physical, and then have the block on his level 2.
Okay.
It's pretty spicy.
Spicy. That was fun. It was real bad, but it's fun. It's because I was playing bad cards. I was running 3 ensnared.
You were channeling your inner me, is what it sounds like.
I was running 3 foil ensnared.
Oh, that's nice. that is a card even I haven't sleeved up ever.
Boy, how did you lose? 3 ensnared? What the fuck did you lose?
I didn't know. I did get to lead combat with ensnaring someone's orange burning ore drill. It was the best feeling ever.
That sounds nice. Dude, can you imagine ensnaring someone's only checkup drill now? It says broken.
Yeah, that's game. You might as well scoop. I can suggest to my opponent they scoop, right?
I believe so. I know I tend to a lot, so.
If you like the scoop, this would be the time.
That's right.
After I just snared your checkup drill.
After I played a rare that you probably don't even know what it does.
Game. That's it, man.
So you just extend your hand. You're like, I think that's it.
We're done here.
I'm gonna run 3 and snared in every deck now, and then whenever I play it and attach it to something, I'm just gonna extend the hand. Like,
I think we're good here.
All right. That's game, right?
We're good. All right. Just call a judge over to verify.
That's all I got to do, right? All I got to do is play the thing.
I'll just get Jason Toro. Jason Toro will do it.
Who knew that fucking Ensnared was secretly Cosmic Backlash?
Oh God, I'm gonna die. It is.
It's confirmed. You heard it here first, folks.
God, I remember that was the thing with Dragon Ball Radio, like their podcast thing. That was like their quote. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
Heard it here first. This is good. Oh man. All right, so we laughed, we talked, we did some things. It's like super late now, and
it is. It's a lot later than we meant to be.
It is. And so I guess we're gonna wrap this up here. So Wayne, any parting thoughts?
Still TN all day. Slug if you're nasty. That hasn't changed. And to everyone going to South Kai, strap up, be ready. You know, anything can go down. And Thomas, congratulations. Don't get pregnant.
Too late.
That's it, man. That's all I got.
That's some pretty good life advice.
You know what I mean? You know, people do crazy things on the bachelor party.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Not Kalefsman. Do you have anything?
That's right. No, I mean, like I said, I'm excited for South Kai. I hope to see a bunch of people there. I'm excited to see, like, I haven't met Joey. I know he said he's going to be there, so it'll be fun to talk to him in person. Get to yell at him about set 8 orange cards in person. That'll be exciting. Other than that, you know, just still doing the thing. I do apologize for people who are listening to this that read the Fantasy Warriors blog. I know I missed a couple updates recently. I have unfortunately been dealing with some issues in my apartment that I needed to sort out. As these two can attest, I've been complaining about it. But they're finally almost sorted out, so I'm going to get back on track with writing my articles up for people. I did just have to take care of some stuff. But they should be back on track with some bonus content and things like that to make up for the loss.
Yeah,
reparations.
Long story short, Kreitzman is racist, and they had to sort of remove some people of a different race out of his apartment building in order for him to live there.
That is sort of technically true. Yeah, I did have an issue with some pests in my apartment.
Oh, is that what you're calling them now?
That's right. I'm trying to be politically correct about this.
Dang, Kreitz had some pests. All right. I guess my parting thoughts. Just remember that the people that design this game right now are doing it for fun and for the love of the game. So if they're not giving you as much communication as you desire, please realize that they work full-time jobs, have a family, have things that they like to do on a daily basis, such as hang out with friends. I knew that myself, when it comes to wanting to produce content for this game or wanting to do anything relative to this game, it kind of just comes last because I'd rather do other stuff in my life, such as hang out with the people that I care about the most, go out to eat, meet some women, things like that. So this is definitely...
Wait a minute. So you're saying the people that do this are human beings?
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
Yeah, so... just really, if you're into that phase where you're starting to nitpick these people for what they're doing, I think you kind of need to reevaluate your own life and how you're spending your time, and then go from there. But otherwise, enjoy life, eat good food, drink booze, make friends, and then that's it. That's all I have.
Some more good life lessons. Man, I feel like I really let everyone down with what I had to say.
Oh, man. You talked about how you're racist and you had to get rid of some...
Yeah, you're true. We did like pigeonhole that in, so that's fine.
So, yeah, it's fine. You had some sage life advice, and you had one guy who's a blatant racist on the show. So.
Sage life advice. Okay.
I think that's a good way to finish it off.
Yeah, that's it. That's good. All right, so that'll do it for KMDcast episode. Another one. Okay, bye.
KMD.
KMD.